once you know how to make major and minor chords, there are a lot of interesting and practical things that you can do with them. And that's what we're going to be exploring in this series of videos. And we're going to start by giving you a simple way to voice any major or minor chord at the piano. Now, if you're not familiar with fingering at the piano, or it's something you need a refresher on, go check out my video on getting started at the piano. It'll take you about 10 or 15 minutes. I think it'll be useful for this video series. And I will put the link in the description below. So, I've written 4 chord symbols out here. And I've written them above the staff. That is, by the way, where most of our chord symbols traditionally go, above the staff. And from left to right, we have, first of all, F minor. We have an F with a lowercase m, and that means F minor. Followed by a D flat major. Since there's nothing after the D flat, we just assume that's going to be a major chord. Followed by A flat major, and then finally E flat major. Now, a chord symbol gives us some information. It tells us what kind of chord we're going to make, but it doesn't actually give us a lot of detail on how we are supposed to make it. So it leaves some of the decision-making up to us. And the voicing that I'm going to give you for this is just one of almost an infinite number of voicings that we could come up with. But this is simple, it's easy to remember, and it will get us started. So here's what we're going to do. In the treble clef, we're going to be writing some music for the right hand of the pianist. In the bass clef, we're going to be writing music for the left hand of the pianist. And so I'm going to start in the treble clef. And I'm going to start in the treble clef with just writing a simple triad. So, for instance, let's go to the first measure here. We have an F minor, and I'm going to just choose to begin this on the F that is right above middle C, in that first space F. So I'm going to write an F here. That's going to be my root. Then above the F, I need a minor third, so that's going to be A flat. So I'm going to write an A flat right here. So F, A flat. And then above that, we need a major third. And a major third above A flat is going to be C. And there's our simple F minor triad. F, A flat, C. And that sounds perfectly good at the piano. But remember the idea of octave doubling, the idea that we can add different versions of the root, the third, or the fifth of a chord to our voicing. Well, that applies to all major and minor chords. So what I'm going to show you as a way to sort of beef up this simple triad is a very simple octave doubling. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the root of this chord, and the root is this F right here, and we're going to double that root. We're going to double it in 2 places. We're going to double it 1 octave below, and that's going to put us on the F below middle C, which is going to put us down in the bass clef right here. And then we're going to go to the F that is an octave below middle C, the octave below the F that we just made, way down here on the space just below the bass clef staff. So in my left hand, or in the bass clef, I'm going to have the F below middle C and the F way down here. But listen, when I play all those notes together, that sounds pretty great. That gives me a good, solid sound from just a very simple extension of the triad, just doubling that root in the octave. As we're fingering this, the easiest way to finger this for now is going to be, and this is really easy to remember too, put your first finger on the root in the right hand, put your third finger on the third in the right hand, and put your fifth finger on the fifth in the right hand. And that formula for now will get you through just about any triad that you need to make. And then in the left hand, put your first finger in the left hand on the top note and your fifth finger on the bottom note. And there it is. That is a simple voicing for any major or minor chord. And let's continue that on through the rest of these chords in this example. So the next chord we have is D flat. So what are we going to do? We're going to write a triad in the right hand. So it's going to be D flat, F, and A flat. Those are the three notes that we need for a D flat major chord. And then in the left hand, we're going to double the root. So I'm going to go an octave below and put a D flat, and then 2 octaves below and put another D flat way, way down here. And again, root, root, root. Simple, simple to remember. Let's do the same thing with A flat. I'm going to begin this on the A flat here in the second space of the treble clef. I'm going to write my A flat major triad, A flat, C, and E flat. And then again, the root is the A flat. So I'm going to double that down the octave in my left hand, right here, and then down here. And then finally, here's my E flat chord. I'm going to start on this E flat right above middle C. Go to the G above it, because that's the third. And then the fifth is going to be the B flat, E flat, G, B flat. And then again, since this is my root, the E flat is my root, I'm going to double that down the octave, and then the octave below that in the bass clef in the left hand. So now listen when I play all 4 of these chords all together. Here we go. That's starting to sound like a real piece of music. Now in the next video, we're going to even take this a step or two further. So come back and let's see what else we can do with these 4 simple chords.